Yo, what's the crap, boys? So the draft day has been done and carnage. It's been absolute carnage. Chris almost waived Paul, has been traded to the Warriors for Jordan Poole. I've got a lot of mixed reaction on that. Obviously, Wembanyama and that, they've been drafted. Brown over Scoot, we'll talk about that. Koulibaly went 7th. Cam Whitmore fell to 20th. A lot has gone on. A lot of new futures have been set up, storylines, etc. But this Chris Paul trade this is not a Bob Myers move. Bob Myers obviously stepped down like a month ago, maybe a few weeks ago. This new guy, I don't know his name, played for the Warriors. This is a bold move. If this guy does not re-sign Draymond, probably the worst GM in Warriors history. I'll say it now. Obviously, Chris Paul, he's 30. Chris Paul could be retired in 2 years, maybe even after this season. You could say this was a salary dump. The Warriors are, this new CBA rule. The Warriors have got a lot of money in, and Chris Paul, he's got like a year or two left on his contract. Maybe, I don't know, I've not checked. I probably should have. Chris Paul's got about a year or two left in his contract. I don't know how to feel about this. Obviously, free agency still got to come. Trades have got to happen. Kuminga, what's going to happen with him? Moses Moody. Are the Warriors really going in on this, let's win a championship this season and next season, and we'll take whatever we take because, we went all in. It is what it is. Chris Paul, you got another playmaker. Steph Curry off ball is going to be dangerous. Chris Paul's probably going to get double-digit assists. Steph's going to be average 30 probably. Like Steph off ball plus on ball. That's going to be really interesting to watch. Even just seeing Chris Paul on the same court, in the same jersey, during a regular and playoff game as Steph Curry and Clay and Draymond and all that, it's going to be this is like a simulation sort of thing. 2K18, you're 5 years into the simulation, and these random trades that you don't expect happen. Obviously, perimeter defense is going to be a bit shaky. Chris Paul, like I said, a lot of people say he's on his one leg, was injured in the playoffs. Chris Paul is he's kind of washed. Obviously, old Chris Paul. I'm not a fan of this move. Jordan Poole, a young player who, in this situation that he is now in the Wizards, can easily give you 25, in the East now. Probably make the All-Star team next season. And this is what you got. This is the best thing you could have done. Chris Paul, who's going to get waived by the Suns, even possibly by the Wizards. And now you've just traded a young future All-Star, 24 point per game scorer when he starts, was making half-court step-back threes in the finals. You traded Chris Paul for him. I'm sorry. Until we see some results, Chris Paul helping this team if he does, I'll trade. But I'm not liking this for the Warriors. Another splash move, but obviously Chris Paul can definitely give you some benefits on the court. This isn't, like I said, I did just call it a bad move. Obviously, there's definitely positive, his playmaking. That's about it. No, obviously not. Obviously, his mid-range scoring. Steph doesn't have to handle the ball as much. Draymond, you must take Draymond back. Give him the 100 million, whatever. Draymond must be back. You need that defense. But I don't know, man. You really could have traded Jordan. You could have been patient. Tobias Harris, come on. Obviously, I'm a Sixers fan. I would not want Jordan Poole on the team. We've already got Maxey. Trading for Chris Paul, I'm not a fan of it. That's all I've really got to say on it. Obviously, the Warriors team, they're probably gonna be quite active, making trades, signings, etc. Got to bring Draymond back. Do not trade Kuminga. Maybe Chris Paul gets traded mid-season. I feel like this might be a disaster. We'll see, though. For the Wizards, this is a W. You've got Jordan Poole, Koulibaly. This is a great start to the rebuild. You've got a first-round pick, which I think is protected. You've just got a lot of flexibility to be bad. Get some, get some high draft picks. I'm not exactly sure if they own their next year's pick or the year after that. Boom, you can now start building for the draft. 3 years down the line, we've got some good draft picks. Maybe sign, a good player. Build up DC as a good free agent destination. Definitely in a better position than you were last season, where Washington have been quite mid, for a long time. So it's a refreshing start for them. But I said the Wizards won this trade. You got a young star in Jordan Poole, 23, 24, has finals experience, won a championship, has been in that setting. Essentially, the draft was cool. Brandon Miller over Scoot, that's going to be... I think they're both going to be destined for the Hall of Fame, I'd say. I'd make that bold take. But anytime Scoot does anything, it's just going to be, Hornets passed up on him. Brandon Miller's going to be a great scorer. I see him averaging 30. If I had to guess, obviously I have no idea. These guys could just, flop, whatever. Obviously, they've just been drafted. But the Rockets probably won the draft. You were, obviously, Cam Whitmore, arguably a top 5 prospect, depending on who you ask. Bare minimum top 7. If you're the Rockets, you're, picking between one of the Thompson twins or Cam Whitmore, one of these players, and you get him at 20. The Lakers, I wish the Lakers took him. The Lakers had that pick at 17. I'm pretty sure they selected Jalen Hood. I would, I'm not exactly sure what Cam Whitmore did to fall from 5 to 20, but the Rockets got him when they could have picked him at 4. That's an insane W. That is such a big win for them. They've got the Rockets' young core is a dynasty. Obviously, you got the Thompson twin, you got Jalen Green, Sengun, Cam Whitmore. It's absolutely unreal. So many young cores have been made. Obviously, OKC, they've got leading superstar shit. The Pistons got a Sir as well. Obviously, they got Cade, and obviously some photos that came out, I hope they're fake. They should not be real. Jane Ivey, Jalen Duren, obviously Cade. You have such good young cores being. The NBA is in great hands for these young cores. In 5 years' time, it's going to be something different. Obviously, the Spurs are going to also be building something, a team around Wembanyama. But I was kind of surprised by it. Obviously, there was trades. Washington picks, they moved up a spot. All this stuff. I was expecting a lot of players, obviously that weren't getting drafted, that were on teams to be traded. Almost none. I don't think there was even any. I thought Tobias didn't get traded. All this stuff. Daryl Morey was not cooking anything. But this whole Dame situation, I just made a video on it saying Dame needs to leave Portland. I don't want to hear anything about Dame complaining about being in Portland. I get it, you don't want to run from the grind. Come on, bro. A lot of people are starting to dislike Dame now because of this whole discourse. It is what it is. He needs to find a trade. The Blazers are stupid to trade Scoot. I don't think they will trade Scoot. I think he's here to stay. You've got this young core. You must build up upon it.